Welcome Bitcoin fam to the #1 Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as well as breaking news. Tether just sent 18,812 Bitcoin worth almost $2 billion to Jack Mallers' 21 Capital. Also breaking news, Norwegian Black Exchange becomes the first publicly traded Bitcoin treasury company in the country. Also, I'll give you some insights surrounding Max Kaiser's thoughts on strategy and these Bitcoin treasury plays, which are being birthed left and right. We'll also be discussing Silk Road founders' 300 Bitcoin payday, unlikely a self-donation, according to some insights. We'll also be discussing Meta Planet becomes the 8th largest Bitcoin holder with $118 million buy. And speaking of new buys, Strategy ends May with another 75 million Bitcoin purchase as the price tumbles to 103. Also breaking news, Russia's largest bank, Sberbank, launches structured bonds tied to Bitcoin. We'll also be discussing Tom Lee of Fundstrat says Bitcoin could hit 3 million, his long-term target. He also ups his short-term target of 250 before the end of this year in 2025, as per his latest interview on CNBC. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more in today's show. Welcome to the CNA Bitcoin Cafe, Double Espresso. Get it while it's hot. President B, let me know if you saw the Nation address speech yesterday. I did share that. Captain Biddy in the building. Irish Coffee, where are you at? Shout out to our very own Oracle. Shout out Adam. Caffeine AI is being released next day. Oh my God. Howdy how. Stack the Biddy. Grab your caffeine. Put it in the bloodstream. And all is good. And happy Monday. We had a nice little correction over the weekend. Hopefully we can resume our bullish momentum. We're not too far from price discovery. It's currently 112, so we're 75 shy. We're practically 3/4 of a God candle. I know Tom Lee. I worked with him. He's the smartest guy on Wall Street. Cheers to that. So if Tom Lee is calling for $3 million Bitcoin, prepare. And if he's calling for 250,000, watch out, bears. We're coming for you. And this is a live stream, try a stream. I will be streaming for the next couple of hours. We are streaming live on X, Rumble, and YouTube. And all comments and quotes of the stream will get reposted. The stream is officially pinned at the top of the X profile. I know it's not the easiest to see with all the glare there, but you should be able to find that at the very top. Again, all comments and quotes of the stream will get reposted. Shout out Adam Taylor, Biddy News with JV and the Nip. Shout out to the co-host, Nipinator, former chairman of the SEC. He'll be making an appearance in a little bit. Shout out Bub. They not like us. 100%. You nailed it, brother. They're sure not like us. That's for certain. Breaking, BlackRock's about to sell 429 million worth of Bitcoin. Unacceptable, forces of evil. Unacceptable. But you already know. Are we having fun yet? Sberbank is one of my Russian banks. No way, Peter. That's the major news today, obviously, besides the prediction from Tom Lee. So you already know. Russia knows what's up. Bitcoin adoption, game theory, global hash wars continuing across the world.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? The point is, if you have the superior
It's going up forever, Oracle.
asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin.
This guy, he's always buying Bitcoin. I was anticipating maybe $1 billion announcement, but it was a small buy for Michael Saylor, that is. But we will be covering that as well here today shortly.
Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it.
That Michael Saylor's on a whole new level.
And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business, it's in your family for 37 years, and you can't bear to sell it.
Yeah, then what do we do?
Mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth, which is Bitcoin.
And there you have it. Shout out James Elsey and Harry Balls. Just reposted you both, and I'll be checking the feed throughout the stream. Ahoy, Captain JV, Biddy Pirate Crew, good day. All remember, Monday starts the weekend. The weekend is here. Sayonara, TGIF is TGIM. Baby, stacking the biddy on the Monday. President B representing Bitcoin country. Where you at? JV, you catch Cynthia say the U.S. Bitcoin holdings are now classified at the conference. When you say classified, meaning there's like a proof of reserve, or not sure what you mean, or does that just mean they officially recognize that they're holding it without publicly sharing it? Bitcoin mining difficulty is at 127 teras. All-time high. Translate into the hashing power to mine a Bitcoin block. Rewards fees is more difficult than forever. Exactly. Word up to the biddy boys, the biddy gangsters, and the biddy baddies, and the biddy pranksters. That's why no release. Gotcha, Brent. So maybe like an inside the government thing, but they don't want to share it publicly. Interesting. Meaning she can't even see it. That's a little sus, I will say, and definitely a little sus. But what do you expect from the U.S. government? I mean, at the end of the day, right? And again, welcome everyone just joining us. We're about to kick off the stream. I'll give everyone a couple more minutes to join us. Hit the repost, comment, quote the stream, say what up to the Nippinator. Get your caffeine in the bloodstream. Very important, as I'm going to be preaching the Holy Gospel of Satoshi here nonstop for the next couple of hours. Let's get it.
So chillin' hot with my Bitcoin.
You feel that?
Swagger from the biddy stack. It goes up, up, up. Bitcoin goes.
It goes doing, doing, doing.
It's a thrill ride. A stack deck built so right. Gonna bust out of the firmament. Beyond the water-filled sky.
And of course, shout out Chandy 10 on the Jammy Jam. This is the Bitcoin swagger. I'm not sure what you're referring to as giving you the Jason Lowery vibes there, Brent. Emails from 2 different casinos about the AI security. Congrats. That's epic. Next level. Very proud of you there, Oracle. What up, JV? Shout out to the Nippinator. Let's motherfucking get it. Side note, Arcam, which is Bitcoin analytics platform, stated just a few days ago they found Strategy's wallets. That's right, like 97% of it correct. 520,000 Bitcoin of all the MSTR. Hide and seek, exactly. Shout out James Smith and the rest of the Biddy fam. Let's get it.
Trust this, don't wear a nail on your forehead with an opportunity miss. Bitcoin thrust, fiat rust, stamp your future and still.
Keep it with swagger, secure and Superman. Real B is Satoshi level. Trump card holding kinda killer.
With W's and M's for the orange pill, set for making mil.
I got that Bitcoin swagger. You got that Bitcoin swagger. We got that Bitcoin swagger.
Stacking sats, feeling bad, looking sharper than a dagger.
And shout out to the Biddy fam. We're about to kick this mofo off. Shout out Chandy, just reposted you. Appreciate you tuned in. And of course, to the rest of the fam, all the moderators, Crypto Surge, the one and only Bring Facts. Make sure you're following all of our mods over on X. But anyways, we're about to kick off the stream. If you're new to the channel, very important. Smash the likes, go ahead, subscribe, then ring the bell. Turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, 7 days a week. Just like this. Today is pod episode 2010. I'm your host, JV. Very significant day in my life is June 2nd. That's my pops, who is in heaven. That's his birthday today. So very significant day for my household. But nonetheless, we do have a lot to share. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Pulling up Coin 360. Preload Biddy had a bit of a correction. You should be able to see here on your screen, down 0.3% on the day. Hopefully it resumes our next leg up here as we're in June. And we put a bow on May. And the silver lining, May was the highest monthly Bitcoin close since the inception of the Genesis block. So game on. Also, we hit a new hash rate all-time high. Price typically follows the hash rate. It's a precursor. So there is a lot of bullish technicals out there we'll be diving into a little later. Looking at Ether in the green today, XRP, Hype, XMR, which is Monero, Cardano, but very modest gains across the board as the king is correcting. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at 3.27 trillion. The all-time high is 3.75 trillion, so we're about a half a trillion away from there. The Bitcoin market cap today, $2.083 trillion. And checking out, we got quite a bit of a volume, over 100 billion today. Bitcoin dominance 63.4%, Ether dominance 9.4%. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, we got Monero leading the pack up 8%. Hyperliquid up 7%, probably because of that trader James Wynn getting all that attention. And Sky up 5%. Let me know which alt, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. Holla at your motherfucking boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. We do it for the NIP. And as you can see, holy moly, I'd say like 70-30 green over red on the day. And zooming out a bit for the monthly, 60-40 green over red. And zooming out for the yearly, unfortunately, I'd say 60-40 red over green. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index, today we're 64 greed, yesterday 56, last week 73, and last month a 65. And checking out the infamous time chain calendar, we have 150,456 blocks until the halving of 2028. We're currently on block number 899,544, which means we're most likely going to cross the 900,000 block milestone sometime this week, and we're fast approaching the million block milestone, which is mind-boggling. And as of today, you can exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 954 sats. So pick up the sats, put down the gats, and pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio. Over at bitcoincaps.net, cop yourself a custom President B exclusive with the El Salvador flag to match. And if you don't know, now you know. And again, welcome everyone just joining us this fantastical Monday, June 2nd. Happy heavenly birthday. Thank you so much, Tammy, to your pops in heaven. Both my parents passed in 2011. Wowzers. Well, this gong strike is for my pops, your parents, and all the other parents who have ascended in the other dimension. And rest in peace. Hit the likes, you bunch of degens. Thanks for the reminder. What alt am I bullish on? None. Cat shit wrapped and dog shit wrapped and ETH shit will never appeal to me. Apparently you're not liking the shit wrappers. Hilarious. But yeah, welcome to the club, brother. Welcome to the club. Shout out Ursats, what it do. And again, those just joining us, we're live stream. Try streaming as we do each and every day. Close to 400 people already here. We're on X Rumble and the YouTube, and lots to share here, yo. Bless our parents that have passed. Amen. Amen. It's a very short journey on this earth, at least in this life form, in this body. But the soul is eternal, and that's the phenomenal part. Some dare say that when we awake from our sleep, it's the dream, which would be now. And then when we allegedly go to sleep, that's our true nature. That's our spirit, in which is forever, right? So interesting concept right there. What if your reality is the dream, right? And your dream is the reality. Let that one sink in, yo. BitcoinCaps.net. Thanks for a reminder. Support Sergio, fellow Bitcoiner and veteran, holding it down, of course, providing the best caps in the biz. BitcoinCaps.net. And that's where I get this one. And all of my custom caps come from Sergio. And if you don't know, now you know. Life is short, JV. Every day counts. I dare say every day above ground is a fantastical day. Let me know if you agree with that one. Forever, Laura.
An Arkansas jam with diamond hands tough.
Got no crypto night, just orange bitty light. Paper gets wrinkled, crinkled.
Texas,
Hold 'em,
Montana,
hold 'em,
Missouri,
hold 'em,
New York,
hold 'em,
Florida,
hold 'em.
Puerto Rico, El Salvador.
You already know.
Swagger holding with an orange glow.
Prodigy, swagger hot.
Reserve to preserve. Strategy for prosperity.
You feel that? That's Bitcoin swagger, baby.
And let me know if you got that bitty swag. Okay, MSTR, public list of companies status regulation, which is what I heard. That's why the Coinbase was holding the stash. Shout out Turbit. Good day, JV. Holding till the end. We're holding, never folding. That's right, Turbit. And unlike Peter, we're not golden. We're bitty solid. And we stack all of our Bitcoin in, what's the phrase? What's the non-diversity? To not diversify, keeping all your eggs in the same basket. A new metaphor I came up with is us Bitcoin maxis, we keep all of our Bitcoin in one basket, and it's protected by the firmament, blessed by God. No one can penetrate that firmament. No lizard folk can confiscate it, and it's a beautiful thing. And in fact, let's strike the gong to that. Jeez Louise. Keep all your eggs in the same basket now, protected by that firmament. Hey, JV at home watching the greatest show. Love your brother. Right back at you, DNA Noonan. It can all end quickly, my friends. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it is mostly small stuff. Amen to that. Can't wait for Chandy 10 to get her website up. Us all there, fam. FBTC is a publicly traded fund. They have the custody, the self-custody. That's right. They're one of the few asset managers that self-custody their own Bitcoin, unlike BlackRock and the Lizard folk, which all choose Coinbase. Ironic enough there, fam. But, yep, I dig it. Oracle has several baskets. Excelente. You should have several baskets of pretty little bitty protected by God's dome, if you feel what I'm saying. But, yeah, yo, 1-5, we're here. We're about to flip in a green. Happy 420. We just smashed 420 live viewers. And we're fast approaching 420, 417 to be precise. Here in Puerto Rico, let's continue with a little astrology for the baddies and for the broskies. We'll also pull up some of the live charts. Should be able to read here. Bitcoin price dips under 104, and we just reclaimed 105 at the time of the live stream. Baby. That's right. As we can see here, Bitcoin saw a retest of the 2024 high as the June 2nd Wall Street Open, as Russia-Ukraine tensions return to the market. Here you're looking at the 1 hour chart. And like I said, I'll pull up the live charts here shortly. Quoting the Kabisi letter, this is effectively the market pricing out the Russia-Ukraine peace deal that President Trump has been working on for the past 3 months. It wrote in the ongoing coverage, referring to Trump's aims to halt the conflict, quoting them here. However, we have yet to receive a single comment from the U.S. or President Trump. Clearly, something is going on behind the scenes. How will the U.S. respond? And here you're looking at the S&P 500, 1 hour chart, not looking so good. Markets look like they're struggling to me, with gold looking strong and tensions with Russia escalating lead me to suspect selling today on the cards and for the start of June. Now, trader Phil predicted this should the stock find fresh bullish momentum. Bitcoin would probably outperform as a result, adding that Bitcoin still looks bullish, of course, long term. Some traders shared the view amongst popular trader Jelly, who implied that the reactions to the current retest of the local lows were overly bearish, as he shared here. Bitcoin still hovering on top of the local support timeline, and especially my comment section seems filled with fear and giving up. Relax, broskies. And others complimented the main monthly candle close, which was the highest of all time. Very bullish, obviously, there. And Mustache shared, this is one of the most beautiful monthly closes you could wish for the biddy. That's right. We closed, I believe it was just shy of 105, the highest since the inception. Now, despite the volatility, Bitcoin continues to hover above 102, a testament to underlying support. Volatility on the front end has steadily compressed, and risk reversals have begun to normalize across the tenors, according to QCP, who said the signal's expectations for the muted price action are in the near term. QCP gave a 100, 110 price corridor going forward in the absence of the further volatility catalyst, and Dan Crypto Trades looked to the previous monthly opening behavior for clues, quoting the analysts here. I think there's a good chance that the first week or so is likely a move that can be faded upon, seeing the first signs of the local reversal. If this is the case, I will stick with the trend for the remainder of the month. Now, Dan Crypto Trades expressed strong bias towards either direction for June as a whole. I want to know, are you bullish or bearish for the new month of June? Holla. Let me know. Past couple of months, very fortunately, we've closed in the green, very bullish momentum. And some of the big news before I pull up some of the live charts, this just in, Tether sends 18,812 Bitcoin worth almost $2 billion to Jack Mallers. 21 Capital, and if you didn't know, Jack Mallers' new Bitcoin treasury company, he's the CEO, is backed by the likes of Tether, who's worth over $150 billion, and Cantor Fitzgerald, multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. And of course, Howard Lutnick's working alongside Trump. Couldn't get more bullish than that. So let's go. Also, check this. Norwegian Block Exchange becomes the first publicly traded bitty treasury company in the country for, obviously, for the Norwegians there. So that's a pretty big deal. And then Max wrote here, the Bitcoin treasury plays are increasing demand for Bitcoin. So yeah, shout out Norway. But will they hodl through the downturn? So he seems to be skeptical about all of these new popping out Bitcoin treasury firms. He says, I only trust Sailor and Strategy not to panic sell. I don't assume the Sailor clones won't puke during the sell-offs, which mean expect them to dump. Portfolio Management 101, number 1. 100% self-custody. Bitcoin is the best position for nearly everyone. Number 2, don't sell, borrow against the biddy. Maintain margin under 15%. Might be suitable for some, and I'll add some context. If you don't have a healthy income, I don't suggest borrowing against your Bitcoin. If you're going to borrow against anything, make sure you're capable of paying it back. That's 101 borrowing, just FYI. And number 3, for experienced equity traders only, take a look at Strategy, formerly known as the Microstrategy. Not for the noobs. And if you don't know, now you know. The High Priest has spoken. And let's also pull up some of the live charts and check it out here for June 2nd. And again, welcome everyone joining the live stream with us right now. Let me switch out the chat from the Rumble to the YouTube. 1 second here. It should be good. And let me see here. I clicked on the wrong page. We should be good now. It should be popping up on your screen. There we go. Excellent. All right. So looking at TradingView via Coinbase, this is the 1 hour chart. There's a lot of action going on here. We do have a green target in play on the 1 hour, sitting at 109, an inverted head and shoulders. We also have a rising wedge formation, which is very bullish here, Monday, June 2nd. Again, this is live chart action. Jackson Satisfaction, Bo Jackson, Tony Braxton for the baddies. And checking out the 4 hour. The 4 hour, we got a particular green target as well. Also a bullish pennant formation sensation lining up with the God candle sitting at 116. Baby. Bullish pennant, 116.3 to be precise. Let me know when you feel will likely hit that. I love to see these bull scenarios on the lower time frames. And zooming out a bit further, let's take a look at the daily chart. And then we'll pull up the weekly and the monthly. The daily chart, as you can see, obviously we've had a corrective day. Not really much going on here on the daily, but hopefully we can flip back in the green as we just recaptured 105 here a few minutes ago and hovering near there. And checking out the weekly, we do still have a rising wedge. We still do have a 124 cup and handle target, which has been printed on this chart for 6+ months now. We do also have 7 stairways to heaven, green candle closes, finally got a corrective red yesterday after 7 weeks of bullish momentum. Will the bulls continue here for the month of June? You guys let me know. And zooming out a bit further, we take a quick look at a monthly, and the monthly says it's going up forever, Nippinator. That's right. We had big green candle close for the month of May and for the month of April, and hopefully we can continue the bullish momentum. But you guys let me know your thoughts. I'll read your comments out loud. Welcome in again, everyone. And let's freaking get it. Kepler, greetings, brother. Good to have you here. Shout out Crypto Surge. Shout out to the Fairground, keeping it fair. Stacking those sats like a medium rare. There we have it. Come on, biddy boom. Bada boom. I bought a Bitcoin. Bury the banksters. Every time you buy the biddy, you're shorting the banks. Buck the Fed. And buck Janet Yellen while we're at it. Banance. I'm constipated and I do the biddy dance. That's her for you. You already know. WCB JJ77 in the building with the biddy swag.
Walking like your wallet got laser eyes.
Biddy climbs higher than a high rise. Laser eyes, not surprised.
I got that biddy drip, fiat doing backflips. We don't beg no banker, we just walk with that Bitcoin swag. Bitcoin swagger.
And there he is. Shout out my brother Sergio, and shout out Fairground. Appreciate a repost. And shout out Sweet Biddy McGee.
I got that Bitcoin swagger.
Tammy, in the Bitcoin community, orange pilling someone refers to the act of convincing them to embrace Bitcoin and the underlying philosophy, often through education and discussion. Amen to that. And precisely what this podcast was intended to do, orange pilling the masses like a blackberry molasses. I fired a Vega Fina last night. Shout out to the Thunder Duck. Let's get it. JV, do you ever light those charutos? Man, I don't even know what charutos are. I'm assuming that means cigar. Not inside. I have a no smoking policy in the crib because I have a 11-year-old in which I love and respect more than anything else on this planet. So no smoking in the crib. Outside, it's fair play. It could be a Bluntsky, could be a cigar, could be whatever I choose. Just saying. But enjoy that Thunder Duck, of course. And let me get that Bitcoin swagger. And we just smashed 600 on the live stream. Much appreciated, fam.
You got that Bitcoin swagger. We got that Bitcoin swagger.
looking sharper than a dagger. QR flash, got cash in my code. Cold wallet, chiller than a Yeti in the snow.
Doing, cold storm for the rocket flame. Take off, lift off, so chill as we fire it up. Moon up, doing up, yup,
Dancing on inflation like it's 1984. Ain't no Fed chair telling me where to go. Haters talk smack, I just nod and stack. Flex that orange B like a royal flag. Tap root smooth, got a flex so pure. Even my memes got a network secure.
You hear that cha-ching? It's my bitty bling. That sound money shaking up the game. Satoshi style, truth on the chain. Yeah, we got that timeless flame. You hear that cha-ching? It's my bitty bling. That sound money shaking up the game. Satoshi style, truth on the chain. Yeah, we got that timeless flame.
Let's go. JB got that swag or doing. I did the orange pilling at the church yesterday. One guy's brother in India put all his money in Bitcoin and lost it. How does that play out? How do you lose your money in Bitcoin? Do you mean he lost his fiat and converted it into Bitcoin, or did he do something stupid like sell Bitcoin at a loss? Because you can't lose what you don't sell, if that makes sense. So help me understand that. Another guy's son was in the military coming back from Iraq in 2012 and bought one Bitcoin for $17. No one else had ever heard of it. Well, obviously, hence why it was so cheap. Back then, not many people knew about it. And obviously, hence why it was only a few bucks. Now the entire world knows about it, hence why it's $104,000 today. And the more people who own it over time, the higher the price will be. The more countries using it as a strategic Bitcoin reserve, the higher the price is going to be. The more Bitcoin treasury companies in the NASDAQ or S&P 500, the more expensive Bitcoin is going to be. The more retailers holding it, the more expensive it's going to be, etc. So take advantage of it. We're still early in the grand scheme of things. If you can visualize 10 years out, how not even 0.5% of the population will be able to say, I own a Bitcoin. In fact, there's less than 1 million addresses that actually hold one Bitcoin or more. Less than 1 million addresses, which means there's way less than 1 million people on the planet that are able to say, I'm a whole coiner. So it's a rare breed. It's a very rare breed, yo. Strawberry Moon, June 11th, baby. Is it the next Strawberry Moon already? That's also Serge's birthday, June 11th. So very significant day. And of course, I'm rocking the 11 jersey. There's the 1111 omen. Bada boom. I bought a Bitcoin. And there's the chairman, former chairman, of course, Nippinator, keeping it nippinating. But let's continue with the news. There's Sweet Bitty McGee. Let's get it. But anyways, next story of the day, we did the TA, a.k.a. the astrology for the baddies. Next up, here's a little insights. Yesterday, we touched upon Silk Road founder auctioning items, raising $1.8 million, and then an anonymous 300 Bitcoin donation came through, worth 31 million. And they did a little examining here, Zach XBT, and because there's a lot of speculation that he just gift himself the 300 Bitcoin from one of his old original addresses. Well, let's dive a little deeper. Ross Ulbricht's recent receipt of the 300 Bitty is from questionable sources, but it is unlikely to be the case where he donated it to himself. My thinking is, why, if he did allegedly send it to himself, why wouldn't he just keep it in the original wallet? Why even move it to the new wallet to receive donations, which is going to be scrutinized and studied by these online analysts in the first place? So for me, yeah, I mean, I was always a little skeptical that it was himself, but it was always in the back of the mind, obviously. I mean, it's a pretty significant donation. But Ulbricht, the infamous founder of the black market Silk Road, received 300 Bitcoin worth 31 million to his wallet that was soliciting donations, obviously the biggest donation by far. The funds came from wallets using a centralized mixing service called Jambler, which led some social media users to speculate without evidence that the funds could be Ulbricht's profits from the Silk Road, which he might have hidden away before he was nabbed by the authorities and sent to prison. However, Zach XBT said on a post that he was skeptical that this is the case because few entities regularly use Jambler in size, and he found a potential demix for the donation. He wrote, "It is likely it doesn't appear to be a self-donation as people were claiming, though it comes from a questionable source due to the flagged address. The latest Bitcoin donation came from wallets using Jambler mixing service, but not normal privacy enthusiasts use decentralized mixers." And he shares the update here on X. Now, he also said one of the addresses involved have exchange activity dating back to the late 2014, while another was active in 2019 when he was allegedly in prison. So hence, how could it be him? Both were depositing in size to Jambler at similar times as the 300 Bitty Ross donor received from Jambler. Both had dormant Bitcoin from November of 2019 until the mixer deposits made for April to May of 2025. He added in response to the user's query that everyone was accusing Ross of a self-donation. So if anything, this proves it was a donation and not his secret stash, because there was activity when he was away, locked up in prison. Now, Ulbricht ran Silk Road, which used Bitcoin for payments, until 2013, when he was arrested and sentenced to a double life sentence plus 40 years. In 2015, he served 11 years behind bars until Trump pardoned him officially on Jan 21st. Coinbase director Connor Grogan said in January he found 430 Bitcoin worth $45 million in wallets he claimed tied to Ulbricht. And according to Grogan, the wallets have been inactive for 13 years and were never seized by the authorities. So, I mean, that leads me to believe that there's a very strong probability those are his Bitcoin. And so what? He should, if he was able to hodl during prison, God bless him. And, now he's worth potentially close to $100 million between that $31 million donation. And if he happens to have 430 Bitcoin in this other wallet, and put two and two together. But blockchain analytics firm Arcam backed up Grogan's assessment, tracing 14 Bitcoin addresses connected to the Silk Road, with one holding over 9 million. Ulbricht recently held an auction of personal belongings, bringing in 1.8 million. So the dude is now officially rich. You got to respect it. Went from 2.5 life sentences to financially free. Bitty legend OG getting praised from 100 million Bitcoiners. I mean, that's the Bitty life for you. The collection included personal effects from before the 2013 arrest, such as a sleeping bag, a backpack, a drum, a prison memorabilia. So, hence, if you ever get locked up in prison, save that ID card. You never know. You may get out and get millions of dollars for it one day, like Ross. But anyways, you guys let me know your thoughts. Do you think he donated to himself, or is just an anonymous gift from a Bitcoiner, potentially worth hundreds of millions, potentially billions? You just never know. There's a lot of OGs out. Now, actually, there's not too many OGs, but there's respectably OGs out there who love Ross and what he represents. Bitcoin should be 200,000 just based on the purchase quantity at higher prices. Can I get an amen? Silas, I couldn't agree more. Let's send this mofo to 200,000 where it belongs right this bitty second. Shout out Nip. You got it, Oracle. Let me see what I missed here. I may or may not own 0.01 to 5,000 Bitcoin. I will neither confirm nor deny my holdings. That is if I didn't lose it in a rocket accident. Well, I've already confirmed you lost it in a rocket accident, so no need to speculate at this point, Oracle. Silk Road, Ross exchanged Bitcoin for goods, services back when the Bitcoin was trading at 10 cents. That's insane, bro. 10 cents per Bitcoin. 10 cents. Holy shit. Can someone run the math from 10 cents to 105,000? What's the price appreciation? She's Louise. OGs of the Bitcoiners between 09 and which year? I consider the OGs from 09 to 2013. Those are the OGs, in my opinion, because that means you experience the crazy parabola from the first halving. So if you experience that, you're an OG. So the Oracle's a Bitcoin OG. Ross, OG. Sailor, sorry, you're not an OG. You're a wannabe, but you're a good wannabe. You're like the next level up right behind the OG, Sailor. You're like the new age OG. Like, for real. Max Kaiser, OG. Samson Mao, OG. Kathy Wood, OG. Jack Mahlers, OG. Jack Dorsey, OG. Bukele, he's like a new age OG, obviously. But there's still a lot of gangsters out there. They get the clout. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, to me, 2013 or prior, that's a true Bitcoin OG. I'm not an OG. I'm not an OG, but I like to hang with the OGs. So shout out to the OGs. Yeah, I'll give it to you, Ursats. If it was late 13, I'll include you in there. Anyone who adopted Bitcoin in fucking 2013 or prior, you're forever an OG. All hail the OGs. You know what I mean? I lost it all in Cancun, Mexico. It happens, brother. Shark accidents as well in Puerto Rico, brother. Whatever else was left in... Exactly. That's my point. Read my mind. Second wave OG. Yeah, OG 2.0. Sailor. Bukele. You know what I mean? Trump is like third generation OG. Maybe every halving is the new generation. So we had the 2012 halving. We had the 2016, 2020, 20. So Trump is a fourth generation video OG. The whole Trump family, fourth generation. You know what I mean? And JV is a second generation OG. I'm definitely not an OG. Just, you know what I mean? Keep it real. I didn't get into Bitcoin until mid-2015. Well, you're a second generation OG as well, Greg. You get that one. Shark accidents are horrid. They happen to the best of us. Ask Surge. Man, oh man. But keep the comments coming, fam. We're up to 900 people on the live stream. Try stream, living the bitty high life. You already know. Let me check my secondary crypto account on X, and I'll repost it. I just hit 40,300 followers. So thank you guys. We're blowing up on X a lot faster than YouTube. We've been stagnant on the tube at 70,000 followers or subscribers for like 5 years, but we're fast climbing on X. Ironic as that sounds. Much appreciate the love, fam. We're going to dive into the next story. My friend said she would compare who gets to 1 Bitcoin first. I said, I've been in since 2016. Word up, yo. Word up. But anyways, next story of the day. We discussed the latest regarding Ross Ulbricht. Now here's the latest from MetaPlanet. Then we'll discuss the latest from Strategies Buy, then the Russian Bitcoin adoption, and then the big 3 million prediction from Fundstrat's Tom Lee. And then we'll transition into some live Q&A. But this headline, MetaPlanet becomes the 8th largest Bitcoin holder with $118 million buy. That's right. Japanese investment company MetaPlanet has become the world's 8th largest corporate hodler of the biddy, continuing its aggressive strategy to promote the Bitcoin adoption across Asia. All I'm saying is this: if Bruce Lee was still alive, he'd be a Bitcoiner. Enter the Dragon, it'd be a Bitcoin fairy tale. I'm just saying, with a little kung fu mixed in between. The company acquired an additional 1,088 of the biddy at an average price. And I do understand Bruce Lee is Chinese, by the way, so not to get it conflicted. We're talking about a Japanese company, but I'm just saying, Asia for the win. Year of the Dragon was last year, for Christ's sake. Calm down. But anyways, 1,084 per coin for a total of 118 million. The investment firm announced. The latest acquisition pushed MetaPlanet's total holdings to over 8,888 BTC. Another divine omen. That means it's going up forever, Laura, making it the world's 8th largest corporate hodler, surpassing Galaxy Digital Holdings of 8,100 and Block Inc.'s 8,485. Take that, evildoers. Large corporate purchases at prices above 100 Gs per biddy suggest growing institutional confidence in the current bull market cycle. The move comes amid the rising financial uncertainty, particularly in Japan's bond markets. Now, Andre Dragos, head of the European research at Bitwise Asset Management, shared that the ongoing instability could drive the biddy to the new highs by the year's end. Damn straight it will. Based on today's default probability across the G20 sovereign bonds, it's already above the 200 Gs per biddy. Government bonds are typically considered safe haven assets. However, when the yields rise sharply, it's often a signal investor concerns about the fiscal sustainability of the repayment risk. Oh no. Bitcoin rose to the all-time high at 112 May 22nd. Don't get her twisted. Before retracing to 104, now 105 at a time at a live. And where's the pretty little biddy likely to go next? $1 million question. Place your bets. The consolidation after the all-time high marked a healthy development that can provide sustainability, the foundation for the next leg up, for the leverage positions, for the reset, spot demand consolidation. Quoting Bitfinex here, Bitcoin's ability to continue to consolidate above the short-term hodler cost basis of around 95,000 remains the key. That's the key, Mr. Miyagi. The coming weeks will likely determine whether the Bitcoin latest breakout was a local high or a prelude to the more aggressive leg higher. And I dare say the best legs in Bitcoin Max Kaiser, hands down. Meanwhile, some analysts are skeptical. They're concerned about the potential bubble forming around the Bitcoin proxy stocks. One man comes to my mind by the name of Peter Schiffmeister, always footing the biddy. And the IMF, always footing the biddy, expect nothing less. But there you have it, yo. Let me know your thoughts with that as the Bitcoin corporate adoption continues, as the Bitcoin institutional FOMO, like a mofo, continues. And next up, we'll be discussing the latest from the Giga Chat. Tammy, Hebrews 6:13 to the 20th, the certainty of the God's promise. 13, when God made the promise to Abraham, since there was no greater for him to swear by, he swore by himself, saying, I will surely bless you. Can I get an amen? Bruce Lee might be a good bug? What do you mean by that? Naturally, he would return as a praying mantis. I expect nothing less from Lee Jun-fan. Rest in peace, brother. Southern Stacker, remember the dinosaur eggs? I don't remember those. Eggs, jawbreak. Oh, the jawbreakers. Of course. I remember the everlasting gobstopper from Willy Wonka. I go way back. Thought it was 1,000,000%, but from 10 cents to 105,000, it's only 104 million%. So Bitcoin's only up 104 million%, while gold is up like 20% in the past 100 years. Not too shabby. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, brother. 120 by Friday. Hey now. Thinking about that. 1,000,000% in 60 days. Was that sheep? Little Shiba Inus with the 10 billion supply, 100 billion, trillion, quadrillion.
I got that Bitcoin swagger. You got that Bitcoin swagger. We got that Bitcoin swagger.
Stacking sats, feeling bad, looking sharper than a dagger. You still on fiat? Man, that's
Yo, is there another new Karate Kid?
tragic. Biddy got
Here's to the
removed.
crazy.
Oops, I hit all these buttons at the same time. Wasn't there already a Karate Kid with Will Smith's son and Jackie Chan? There's another one? Interesting. The proxies are the new alts. And shout out Jackie Chan. I mean, that brings back childhood memories. Jackie Chan's always been a legend. For those that don't know, he was the stuntman for Bruce Lee movies. So Jackie Chan was actually the legit stunt guy for Bruce Lee back when he was only a kid. And he put out the classics. My favorite Jackie Chan movie of all time is Drunken Master, the original. And then Drunken Master 2. What you know about the Drunken Monk style, baby. I'll bust it out live and on screen right now. You feel me? I did ask ChatGPT, which is terrible at math and sometimes adds zeros to easy math questions. We got to bring back Rush Hour. That was pretty hilarious. Chris Tucker. But then again, I don't know how many times Chris Tucker has gone to a Diddy party or Gilligan's Island. So maybe I take that one back. But I love me some Jackie Chan, that's for sure. The Legend of the Drunken Master. It's a classic. I'm talking about the original Drunken Master is the best. The original. Those training scenes, nothing matches. Drunken Master 2 is pretty epic. That wasn't made until the 90s, I think 20 years after the first one. In my opinion, those are the best Jackie Chan films. Jet Li, I was also a big fan of. My favorite Jet Li films were Shaolin Temple, back when they were just kids, bro. Next level shit. All the Shaolin films are the best, hands down. I'm 38 and share the same patch of gray. The Judge Gong by the beard? Huh? Something about a beard. Are you talking about Pai Mei? Kill Bill? When I'm older, I want a beard like Pai Mei, so I can just play chess with a gray beard. You know what I mean? Checkmate, mofo. Stacking the biddy. And by that time, Bitcoin will be worth 250 million per coin. When I got that long gray beard like a young Pai Mei. Still rocking the 11 jerseys as well. Ki Hu Kwan short round from the Temple of the Doom reminds me of the Jackie Chan. Enter the Dragon. We've already entered the Dragon. That was last year. When a Chinese diplomat's daughter is kidnapped in LA, he calls in Hong Kong detective Inspector Lee. That's Jackie Chan to assist the FBI with the case, but the FBI didn't want to do it. You must be talking about Rush Hour now. Hey now, let's just talk about Kung Fu films. Let's just talk Kung Fu moving forward. Who cares about the Bitcoin? We got Kung Fu films on the agenda. A little Kung Fu talk, a little bitty talk, a little bitty cigar, a little bitty sage. You know what I mean? A little bitty spindrift. Welcome to the Bitcoin Cafe. Get your espresso. Now we're talking. I love the epic drunken master movie flicks. They're the best. They are the best. There's nothing greater than the drunken boxing. It's like the secret to the drunken boxing is you have to get not too drunk because then it's like a boat sinking and you have no control, but just drunk enough to be loose and to flow freely. Wow. Like that. And if you can do it just perfectly, game on. There's no stopping you. You become unpredictable. They go to hit you and you can't be hit. It's magic. It's like Satoshi being resurrected for a Kung Fu scene versus Bruce Lee and Enter the Dragon. And Bolo doesn't exist. The guy with big pectorals. Instead, Satoshi appears and he's a ninja. And then it's Bruce Lee versus Satoshi. Who's gonna get the W? Let me know. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah, so that film was called The Game of Death. They put that filming aside when he got the deal for Enter the Dragon, which was the first big Hollywood Kung Fu film. So Game of Death, they recorded those scenes, those fight scenes where he's going up the, whatever that's called, fighting all the bosses. And he fights Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who is actually his student in real life. So they filmed that one. And that's hilarious because Bruce Lee's like 5'6", and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is like probably above 7 foot. So that was a fantastic scene. What do you know about water, my friend? Bricks don't hit back. A little Bloodsport, a little Jean-Claude Van Damme, a little Steven Seagal. I'm hard to kill. This was my era. This is when I grew up. I love these films. Anyways, when Bitcoin hits 1 million, we should all meet up on the island and party down. Not the Epstein Island, not the Gilligan's Island, and not P. Diddy's Island, not Jamie Dimon's Island. Let's just stay away from the island. Let's stay away from the island, boys. I mean, if you're going to do anything on an island, it should be Puerto Rico. In all fairness. No Diddy. What up, fam? 111 in play. That's what I'm saying, Ricardo. 111 today. We just hit 1,000 people on the stream. Still got a lot to share. Time's fast escaping us. So let's continue with the bitty news. He got me sidetracked with the drunken master talk. Whoever started it, I'm blaming you. I'm calling you out. Nippinator's on the attack. Watch out. He'll jump right through the screen. Whop! Right to the nuts. Be careful. You've been warned. All right, here's the latest from Michael Saylor. Headline reads, strategy ends May with 75 million Bitcoin buy as the price tumbles to 103. But lo and behold, we're right back at 105. That's right. Saylor Strategy, the world's largest corporate hodler of the bitty, revealed its latest Bitcoin purchase after the price briefly dropped below 103. Strategy acquires 705 Bitcoin. Why so bearish, Michael? For 75 million between May 26th and the 30th. They announced it officially today. The latest purchases were made at an average price of 106.5 per coin, with Bitcoin dropping from 110 last Monday to the intra-week low of 103.4 by the weekend. The purchase marked the company's last Bitcoin buy in May, bringing Strategy's total holdings to 580,955 BTC, acquired for $40.7 billion at an average price of 70,000 per preload bitty, going up forever, Laura. The Bitcoin yield is now 16.9% year to date. Not too shabby. That's actually pretty damn good. So yeah, the latest purchase brought the year to date Bitcoin yield to 16.9%, up 0.1% from the previous 4,020. I mean, if that doesn't tell you happy 420, I don't know what will. The quarter-to-date Bitcoin yield is now 5.4%. Strategy seeks to reach a Bitcoin yield of 25% year-to-date by the end of the year. The company previously targeted a 15% yield, but increased it May 1st. Strategy's new Bitcoin acquisition followed another series of Class A sales by Strategy Director Jared Patton. And according to the Strategy report of the proposed sale of securities filed on May 30th, Patton sold 3,750 shares in the period between May 22nd and the 29th, worth nearly 1.4 milli. Strategy stock, trading under the ticker MSTR, saw downward pressure following the sales briefly falling below $360 on both May 28th and the 30th. Strategy shares recovered to close last week at $369, but we're trading at 1.6% down in pre-market. Any of you have exposure to Microstrategy or any Microstrategy related stock, do let me know. Despite the recent drops, Strategy stocks up 23% year to date with annual gains of 123%. And according to strategy analyst Jeff Walton, Saylor's company is well positioned to become the #1 publicly traded equity company in the entire market one day due to the massive stake of the biddy. And at this time, Strategy owned nearly 581,000 Bitcoin, which is almost 3% of the entire supply, which is literally mind-boggling. And if you don't know, Saylor's going to continue to buy, 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 continue to buy. We should make a song called "Continue to Buy, Continue to Buy, Continue to Buy." It's like the little engine that could continue to buy, continue to buy, continue to buy, continue to buy. BTFD. Just saying. Amari just gave me $21 to put in her Cash App so she can buy more of the biddy. I love my kids. This gong strike is dedicated to Amari. But what about the Bitcoin kids? I fought Dan Inosanto, who was a student of his too. I went to Dan's seminars back in the 90s. Small world, brother. That was one of Lee's students, right? And that's fantastic. Shout out Amari. There's Chandy. I tried to say hi, fam, for an hour. I've ruined the laptop when the virus thing caused. Blame it on Bill Gates spreading viruses on the laptops again. And then he sells you the antivirus software. It's a playbook right out of the Novid. Jeez. Ultra low oxygen moment yesterday, and my arm is something knocked a V8 onto the keyboard. Mike found some shit. Well, take care of yourself there, Chandy, and appreciate you checking in regardless. So thank you. With the inhaler, try to call 911, but I assume jail is all there is here. So I said no, and the steam shower and inhaler fixed. Virus is a little better today. Sending prayers your way, Chandy. This gong strike is for you. The real PG says petty 3%. I own 200%. Not sure. Are you referring to like MicroStrategy stock, or let me know what you mean on that one, Biddy fam. And again, welcome everyone joining us. Close to 1,100 people on the live stream, tri-stream. We have 2 more feature stories to discuss, and then we'll transition into the Q&A segment. And our next stories are the most important. Russia's largest bank, Sberbank, launches structured bonds tied to Bitcoin. You already know. And then, of course, major news, Fundstrat's Tom Lee projects Bitcoin hitting 3 million, his most bullish biddy target. And he also predicts a 250,000 plus target before the end of the year. And then as soon as we're done with the news, we'll end the YouTube transmission and continue with the uncensored version of the pod exclusive on X and Rumble. So heads up, one of the mods, please drop the Rumble link for the after party for the uncensored version of the pod, and I'll pin it to the top. That way, as soon as we're done with the news, we'll transition. And yesterday, we gifted 21 memberships. So congratulations, all the new members of the channel. And thank you guys for all the gifts, from Chandy 10 to Crypto Search to the Oracle to your very own. There was 21 MicroStrategy memberships gifted on yesterday's pod, which was pretty amazing. I am better now. Well, that's good to hear, Chandy. Don't know which virus, probably caught it at the Clark County Jail. Probably so. Yep, still stuck in this hell city. I like your definition by what having they purchase. Exactly. It determines what level OG you are. We have new level OGs, 4th generation, like the Trumpster. Yeah, I mean, everyone purchases Bitcoin at the price they deserve, I dare say. One more sip of the Spindrift. We'll continue with the biddy news. Big news coming out of Russia. Smash the likes, fam. It's free to do so. Repost the stream. Spread the word. Let's freaking go. The next story of the day. This is the big news. Our next 2 stories here. As you can read in the headline, Russia's largest bank, Sberbank, launches structured bonds tied to Bitcoin. The structured product gives exposure to Bitcoin price changes and US dollar/ruby exchange shifts. If I'm pronouncing that currency right, ruble, ruby, not sure, but it says RUB. Someone clarify that in the chat for me. Max Geyser says, smart. On the back of the news, the bonds let holders earn based on two variables, the future performance of the biddy in US dollars and any strengthening of the dollar relative to the ruble. So let's dive a little deeper into this one. Sberbank, Russia's largest bank, has introduced a new structured bond that tracks the price of Bitcoin and the dollar to ruble exchange rate. Initially, available over the counter to a limited pool of qualified investors, the bonds let holders earn based on two variables, the future performance of the biddy in US dollars and any strengthening of the dollar relative to the ruble. That's like an oxymoron. Anything stronger than the dollar. That's hilarious. Investors can access the instruments without opening a crypto wallet or using foreign crypto exchanges, with all the transactions being processed in rubles with Russia's legal and infrastructure systems. The bank plans to list similar structured products with crypto exposure on the Moscow exchange, according to the recent announcement. Sberbank, per the announcement, is also launching Bitcoin futures products via the Sberbank Investments platform June 4th, 2 days out, which would be on this Wednesday, aligning with the launch of the product on the Moscow exchange. Game on. The announcement comes just after the Bank of Russia said financial institutions in the country can offer crypto-linked instruments to qualified investors. So there you have it. Again, Max says this is extremely smart. This is the de-dollarization occurring in real time. I mean, also we have the, what is it called? The movement of all the countries coming together, BRICS, of course, and Russia is obviously a part of that. And obviously they're making their moves. We all know the dollar is going to get returned to its original intrinsic value alongside all the fiat currencies, which always do. So game on, another sign of the times, moving away from the dollar. And yeah, I mean, Bitcoin adoption is here to stay. If you don't adopt Bitcoin, you'll get left behind. I mean, yesterday's pod, we discussed, according to Michael Saylor, the Bank of England is on the brink of buying Bitcoin. And if you're not familiar with how evil the Bank of England is, I mean, you can do the math, but you already know. So everyone's adopting Bitcoin, sign of the times, game theory in full effect. And shout out to your high priest, your holiness, Max Kaiser. I want to give him a special shout out. And also, let's go to his wall real quick. I want to point some things out here. Let's check out some of his recent posts. He says, sovereigns are figuring out that Bitcoin protects against inflation and instability 100%. Now, also, he wrote, and this is quoting the Bit Christ, what does the Bitcoin singularity eat? It eats decrepitude, boredom, death, ugliness, and above all, it eats cheap vulgarity. It eats energy and shits perfect money. I mean, brilliantly put right there. He reposted this. Hold your own keys, have multiple passports, build your own curriculum, birth kids at home, be your own doctor, control your food supply. It takes effort, commitment, and capital to opt out of the broken systems, but it's worth it. That's right. Unplug from the matrix, fam, is ultimately what she's trying to say there. Don't be dependent upon the government whatsoever. And I'll leave you with this. Who wants 2 free tickets to the Max and Stacy pool party? Sign me up, please. Tournament January 8th to the 10th. It's going to be lit, and your boy JV will be there. And make sure to give that a repost for the Max Kaiser and Stacy Herbert. And you already know everything goes to 0 against the pretty little bitty going up forever, Laura. And next up, we're going to discuss the latest from Tom Lee, who was just interviewed on CNBC with his most bullish prediction he's ever given. And he is a very conservative type of guy. You can just tell from his swagger, you know what I mean, with the collar shirt and the glasses. Very conservative guy. And he's calling for 3 million Bitcoin long-term, 250,000 before the end of the year, and very smart guy, may I add. But that's our next story. And as soon as we're done with the Tom Lee story, we'll transition it to the after party uncensored version of the pod. Make sure you guys are following me on X, for Christ's sake, and Rumble. I woke up the other day and one of my YouTube videos were removed, and then they gave me like a strike, and they said my videos contain harmful and dangerous content because I'm preaching the holy gospel of Satoshi. Ultimately, I preach Bitcoin. They're basically comparing Bitcoin to a Ponzi scheme, and they're alleging I'm promoting an illegal Ponzi scheme, even though the Trump family, including the POTUS of the United States of America, is fully embraced Bitcoin, even signed a strategic reserve executive order. But the overlords, the lizard folk on YouTube, they perceive me promoting Bitcoin as promoting an illegal Ponzi scheme. Can't make this shit up. So make sure you guys are following me on X and Rumble. It's very important because I could wake up any day. YouTube could be terminated along with 3,000 videos. It's happened last year. It happened the year before that, and it happened the year before that. And this is typically around the time they do it. So like clockwork, so you guys aren't surprised, if you want to continue to watch my stream, you have to follow me on X and Rumble because those platforms, I have freedom of speech, and they don't hold promoting Bitcoin against me and compare it to an illegal Ponzi scheme, for what it's worth. Meanwhile, how many shitcoiners are promoting illegal Ponzi schemes on YouTube? How many people are promoting fake get-rich-quick Michael Saylor schemes? Send me 2 Bitcoin, I'll send you 4. Those channels are perfectly fine. The biggest shitcoiners in the industry, their channels are fine. Mr. Beast just hit 400 million subscribers. But I've been shadow banned for 5 years for speaking the truth. Welcome to the Matrix. She's Louise. But anyways, Tom Lee could be a drunken monk. That's what I'm saying. With that swivel head, burn the incense just like the Shaolin monks. This is a ritual. Once a monk, always a monk. Stack the biddy. Cypherpunk style. Representing.
Oh, bring me up, bitty glow. Prize discovery, yeah, let it show. Bang, 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 like a B-52, we built a biddy.
Stacked revolutionary love shack, boo. I'm stacking sats like it's Max and Stacy. Stacking sats cause tax is crazy. I'm stacking sats cause the IMF hates me. Stacking sats cause the haters don't faze me. No biddy, no Jay-Z. Stacking the biddy like it's Nipsey and JV. Stacking the biddy like it's paper and Chandy. Stacking BTC like caffeine in my canteen. Life is a game of chess that makes biddies the damn queen. Stacking BTC till they cancel me and I can't stream. Like Biggie, it was all a dream.
Beam me up, Scotty. That's what I'm saying. Please scan the QR. Send me the 0.1 Bitcoin. I'll return the 2. Don't you want to get rich quick, guys? And it's insane because these channels that promote the scams, they'll get like 50,000 live viewers. Meanwhile, on YouTube right now, I've been streaming every fucking day for like the past 7 years. Every day. 157 viewers. Because I haven't sold my soul. I don't push the transgender agenda. I don't push Pfizer poison jabs. And I don't pretend that all this shit is real that all these influencers are pushing. Like, you know what I mean? 155 live viewers. Ironic, I was streaming 5 years ago. I'd have several hundred people on my live. Hundreds. 5 years ago. So go figure. Now over 2,000 live episodes and the least amount of people I've ever seen in several years watching my show. Well, at least on YouTube. I can't say that's true because we now have a lot of people on X that watch the show to make up for it. Like there's 1,200 people watching live, but only 153 on YouTube, and which is the primary platform I've been streaming on every single day of my life for like the past 7 years. Mr. Beast is utter garbage. Exactly. And his friends does very questionable things. The transgender friend. It's like if Nippinator was a transgender dog, I'd probably have millions of subscribers. That's all I'm saying. If he was like pushing the Scooby-Doo agenda, heading over to the Rumble, thank you in advance. What crypto channels get over 50,000 live viewers? Only the scam channels. The ones that impersonate Michael Saylor. For some reason, the YouTube algorithm loves those. Go figure. You know what I mean? But anyways, we're going to transition into our view story of the day. Bitty broskies and bitty baddies. You guys ready? Mom Spaghetti. He's nervous. But on the surface, Nippinator looks calm and ready to drop bombs. Look at that Nippinator. Don't get no more nip than that. The math ain't mathing out. Exactly, YouTube. Exactly. But anyways. All right, fam, now for our feature story of the day. Fundstrat's Tom Lee was just interviewed on CNBC and gave his most bullish Bitcoin prediction of all time. He says Bitcoin could easily hit 3 million per coin long term and smash 250,000 before the end of this year. Let's break it down. Shout out Fundstrat's Mr. Thomas Lee. And I got to respect him because he's a very conservative analyst, very conservative. So for 3 million to come out of his mouth, that's a pretty big deal. So let's break this baby down, shall we? Headline here reads, Fundstrat's Tom Lee raises 2025 Bitcoin target to 250 G's, baby, and sets 3 million as the long-term value. That's right. During the interview on Squawk Box, Tom Lee highlighted the Bitcoin recent price swings, which saw the asset plunge from the all-time high, which is currently 112, which was achieved on May 22nd, less than 2 weeks ago. And then we just bottomed out at like 103 earlier today, and we're around 105 at the time of the live. But despite the retracement, Mr. Lee remained optimistic about the asset's prospects, asserting that the Bitty is consolidating around this level. Tell me something I didn't know, Captain Obvious. He suggested the Bitcoin has great stats, given that 95% of the Bitcoin has already been mined. Yeah, let that sink in, family. And for perspective, roughly 20 million Bitcoins, representing around 95% of the Bitcoin maximum supply of the 21 million coins, are currently in circulation. And the final Bitcoin will be minted in the year 2140. So that's like 120 years from now. Wild. And despite nearly all the Bitcoin currently in circulation, and keep in mind, Microstrategy, now known as Strategy, owns 3% of that supply. BlackRock owns over 3% of that supply. Governments have roughly 3% of the supply. Yeah, I mean, there's literally 4, 5, 6 million Bitcoin stalemated and stagnated, which will never move again. Satoshi's wallet has wallets has roughly 1.1 million of the supply. And I share that just to put in perspective how scarce the Bitcoin asset truly is. Therefore, Tom Lee speculated that more potential buyers could join the Bitcoin revolution bandwagon over the next decade, precisely. And as a result, he predicted Bitcoin has a massive upside potential this year. Couldn't agree more. Notably, Kernan asked him whether he still thinks the Bitcoin will reach the initial forecast. So his initial forecast was 150,000 by the end of the year. But check it. Here's how he responded. Mr. Lee speculated Bitcoin surpasses 150,000 territory and aims for the lofty targets of 200 to 250,000. Achieving the 200 to 250,000 target would require the Bitcoin price to increase by roughly 92 to 140% from the current level. And again, he's a very conservative guy. I dare say that's my bear scenario, as I've been calling each and every day. JV and Nippinator, we're calling 222,000 bear scenario 2025. Mark that right now. Bookmark this stream. And we're calling bear, oh, that was the bear. The base case, 420, of course, for the broskies. And 1.1 million for the bull scenario. Max Kaiser's calling for 2.2 million. Samson Mao's calling for 1 million. Omega Candle, send it. But back to the forecast. When asked to forecast the Bitcoin terminal value after the last Bitcoin is mined, by the year 2140, Lee predicted Bitcoin would at least match gold's valuation of 23 trillion. Conservative. I think we're going to blow past gold, and especially 100 years from now. Gold may not even be a thing. Gold may be like extinct along with Peter Schiff's bloodline. I'm just saying, there's no telling. And based on the projection, Bitcoin can trade at a minimum of 1.15 million. Why so bearish, Mr. Lee? Assuming only 21 million Bitcoin are in circulation. The use of 20 million Bitcoin rather than maximum 21 million is based on assumptions that the entire total supply will never be in circulation due to the permanent loss. Exactly. I dare say 5 to 6 million. Bitcoin will never move ever, which leaves us down to like 15, potentially 15 million Bitcoin there will ever be in circulation. Then what if people like MicroStrategy have millions of Bitcoin by that time? Do you think he's ever going to sell? I mean, he's made a living saying he's going to buy the top forever and never selling. So you tell me, yo. Further, Lee sets bullish terminal targets for the Bitty, forecasting it can soar to 2 to 3 million per preload Bitty, or even higher. This puts his average terminal target of the Bitty at 2.5 milli Again, very conservative, representing a surge of 2,300 from the current value. And as previously purported, leading asset management giant Van Eck predicts the Bitcoin can rise to 3 milli. In fact, I shared a target of Fidelity's Jerry and Timmer, suggesting 1 billion per coin within the next 13 motherfucking years. Let that sink in, which would mean by the year 2038. Could you see that? Holy shit. That would mean the dollar dam already collapsed, and that can happen. I mean, anything's possible. And according to Matthew Siegel, Van Eck's head of digital asset research, Bitcoin will reach 3 million by 2050. Again, extremely bearish, but you guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll read your comments out loud. And welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. Don't forget to join the Rumble. I'm going to go ahead and pin that post to the top. All you have to do is click the link pinned at the very top, posted by Serge, which is rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net. And we're going to continue with the uncensored extended version of the pod for an additional hour. So if you're on YouTube, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the fuck out of here. All right, and the YouTube transmission should be ending any moment. We'll give it a